arcade gamers, and welcome back to Biggie D's Arcade. Tonight we're doing my 97th Chill and Chat live on a Sunday evening, talking home arcade with you guys out there in the home arcade community. Hope you're having a great night tonight. Tonight is a special guest. I wanted to get someone else on the show, join us. We've got a lot of topics to discuss tonight, particularly Arcade 1-Up, and someone that's been making a lot of videos on Arcade 1-Up content lately was Bill's Retro Show. So I invited him on the show and he has accepted. He's here with us tonight. Hey, Bill, how's it going?
Good, good. She's you've done 97 of these.
Yes,
Wow.
97 now.
Three away from 100. Awesome. Good for you.
Yeah, it's been every week. There was a period, though, where I went like 4 months without doing any streams and took a break. But getting back to it, trying to do this every week again. And once I hit 100, I want to do some big giveaway. I've got something in mind. We're getting really close to that 100 mark. So
Nice.
you guys out there that are watching tonight, make sure to tune in here in just a few weeks because we're going to be doing a major giveaway for the 100th episode. But what about you, Bill? What's going on with you? I know you've been doing a lot of videos on Arcade 1-Up and
well, among other things, yeah.
And
Yep.
What all are you have going on your channel?
You know, I always try to keep my channel kind of a mix of things, whether it's home arcade, Arcade 1-Up, iconic, basic fun, all those things that are hopefully coming up. Hopefully we'll see some stuff from them pretty soon, mixed in with other retro game news and interesting things. As a matter of fact, with all the Superman hype and the Superman excitement coming out, I have a video that I have planned that's going to drop tomorrow related to Superman. So I'll just leave it at that. People can check it out for themselves tomorrow.
Good. Yep. Great. So yeah, we're going to do some movie talk and some TV talk here towards the end, but we'll start with some home arcade subjects to begin the show. So I'm looking forward to talking Superman with you tonight, seeing what you thought of it. Calvin's here. He's the first one in the chat. He had a grin, and then he's saying there's an intermediate noise, but I can hear you both. That may be my fan because it's always so hot here. So let me turn that off real quick and see, Calvin. Let me know if you still hear that after.
Yeah. I got a couple near me too. Let me move them away a little bit. Maybe they're a little too close. Same thing. I'm like dying in this office. If I don't have these fans, I'm gonna melt. So hopefully we're okay. If I move them back a little bit, maybe it's not so bad. They're quiet, so I can't imagine they're making too much noise.
Just turned my fans off. So let me know, Calvin, if you still hear that. My mic might be picking that up. So hopefully that was it. By just turning those off, you won't hear that anymore. All right. It's not bad, the B-Me says. Good. Okay, very good. So I want to start tonight with Arcade 1-Up. This has been a big subject this week. We've waited a very long time for something new. There was a lot of speculation that the company wasn't doing well and we may not be getting anything this year, really.
Yep.
So it was, the big buck. I know we had a little bit of notice on that, especially because you monitor that port data. And we saw the Big Buck Hunter Pro a few weeks ago and knew that was coming and it was going to be a Mossy Oak collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
But then there was that complete curveball surprise with the Terminator 2. I don't know if anyone knew about that one ahead of time. What are your thoughts on these releases and, where you think Arcade 1-Up is heading here towards the end of this year? Do you think we're getting anything else or is it just going to be these two cabinets?
It's tough to say because, for a while there was a lot of speculation that the only thing coming out was possibly I think it was a Pac-Man pub table that was going to be a Costco exclusive. And that came out of them being at the IGN showcase and whatever. So the big speculation was that was probably the only thing we were really going to see this year. It doesn't really surprise me that they're doing stuff like this because it's still nothing new. It's still, basically a re-release of things that they've done in the past. I know from time to time they throw out these kind of collab cabs like this, which I think always kind of work out well for them because it kind of appeals to a broader base than just Arcade 1-Up. You get the the people who are really into hunting, most probably know Mossy Oak. Wasn't one I was as familiar with. I'm more familiar with like Bass Pro Shop. What's the other one? Cabela.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Real Tree, I think, is one of them as well.
yeah. But I had heard of them. I just didn't know them as well as some of the other ones. So it is interesting to see them come out with this. It's a good move. I think compared to some of the other collaboration cabs they've done in the past, this one's not bad looking. I mean, I could see, I could see, some people putting this like in a hunt, if they got a hunting lodge, where they go and they hang out or something like that. I could see people, getting something like this and putting it in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Calvin, he says, for the big buck hunter, a person told me a replacement rifle was very expensive. He was selling a used one with one rifle working. I'm glad you brought that up, Calvin, because I know you too as well, Bill. You're really good friends with Glenn.
Yep.
He sells that boomstick. And one selling point with that boomstick is it is compatible with the big buck hunter. It's plug and play. So,
and it's, relatively speaking, it's not that for a sending gun, it's not that bad at all. So, and I've seen tons of people who have, modded their big buck hunters, put in bigger screens and whatever, put in Glenn's guns for them. So that it's definitely an alternative if people have an issue with these. So yeah, it's definitely something that you could easily do.
Yeah, so just taking a look at this big buck, we'll start with it. It's got the same games list, the same light guns. Also, it's same design, basically.
Yep.
Same monitor, same molded coin door. Really, the only difference I'm seeing is the artwork itself. There was one other just minor thing that I noticed that was different about it too, and let's take a look at that. That's your side panel there, guys. Mossy Oak camo. I'd put out a video yesterday, I think you did, Bill, where we kind of dive deep into these cabinets and have discussed them already in quite a bit of detail. So I won't go through all that with you tonight. But this is the box. These are smaller boxes, I think, than what they were using before. Do you know if this is the same size box as the Deluxe that was at Best Buy? Or do you think this one's going to be a little bit smaller? I can't really tell from these images.
It's so hard to tell. And to be honest, I have not seen... I still see some of the older Deluxes, like at the Best Buy I go to, the Mortal Kombat, the Pac-Man. I still see some of those in there occasionally. I have yet to see any of the newer ones, especially the slimmer Deluxes that they do, because I know they changed the box style on these. So I have no clue exactly how big these boxes are, but I know they made them a little more compact, possibly to entice retailers to actually stock them because they take up less room. I haven't seen it yet though. So
yeah, they do take up a lot of room. I remember going into Best Buy a couple of years ago when Best Buy first signed that deal with Arcade One Up to carry a large amount of inventory. Yep. And you walk into the store and they just had them lined up there at the front of the door there and had 30 of them. And they take up a lot of, real estate there on the floor. So I can definitely see the need for them to try to make these smaller, especially for in-stock inventory. Definitely wanting to please those retailers and make it as easy as possible for them. Now, this was another thing I'd noticed. So there was the artwork, but if you look at the dimensions, if these are accurate, there is about a 1/2 inch height difference, which is surprising. I don't think this is an exact cut, like an exact mold of the previous Deluxe. I see slight differences, but maybe these measurements are wrong. Maybe, these are just incorrect. It's not the first time that Arcade One Up has posted or had something incorrect on their advertisements.
This is for sure. But I mean, just with a side-by-side comparison there, it does look like it is a little bit taller. It's weird too, because, and again, a lot of times especially these pictures where they put the little shadow guy in, tend to be more renders than actual pictures of the real machine. It almost looks slimmer too. Like, I know it says it's 21 inches, on the depth, but the new one does actually almost look a little bit slimmer. I don't think it is. I think this is more in line with the older deluxes, and of course, we'll get into that when we talk a little more about T2. But if it is a little bit taller, and it does look like it looks like the front, kick plate is a little bit taller
Mm-hmm.
on it. That's a good thing for these light gun games. Being a little bit taller would definitely, I think, help out.
Yeah, that's one thing that was kind of like a selling point for me. When I looked at these, is that these were one of the tallest cabinets that they've made. These light gun games, they really benefit from increased height, screen height,
Mm-hmm.
especially because you're not like pointing the gun down. You want to be pointing straight at it.
Yep.
And T2 was one of those cabinets. Big Buck Deluxe. If you remember the original Big Buck was actually really short. Do you remember that one?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Yeah. It was way too short.
they've definitely increased the height. That was something I think they had listened to. Maybe that was something they have done their research on these cabinets and done some marketing research and found that maybe surveys and found that people just weren't happy with that first Big Buck.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something I saw that they greatly increased was the height to the deluxe.
Yeah.
And then they kind of turned around and went and backtracked with that classic with Walmart. Do you remember the classic that came out for $3.99?
Yeah, but that's par for the course with the classic line anyway. They're always shorter and designed to maybe be put on a riser. They just don't come with the riser and
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So on a riser, and again, I don't remember the dimensions off the top of my head. I'd have to go back and look. But on a riser, it's probably about the same as the original
Mm-hmm.
Big Buck Hunter. Without the riser, it's super short. You're you're definitely pointing down, trying
Yep.
to shoot at it. You have to put that sucker on a riser.
Oh yeah, without the riser, it would be for like a child or a midget. It's only a few, 4 feet tall.
Yeah, yeah.
So you'd have to have that riser. And that brings up another question: is I think they may still be selling that Big Buck at Walmart. I don't know if the risers for that cabinet are even available anymore because they're selling the inline
Because they have
riser.
the newer style risers.
Yeah.
You could usually still find them. And of course, there's always guys like GI Joel who make their own or
Uh-huh.
whatever that you can always look into as well.
Let me get this website pulled up here
Big
because
bucks.
I just found.
Well, Paul, anybody who calls this an XL has no clue what they're talking about.
I just found the Walmart listing there, so it is still
Yeah, look at that
available.
sucker.
405.
That's a lot for that.
Yeah, they raised it $5.
Yeah. Well, this is probably also it's tough to tell from there if that's a third party seller or if that's Walmart direct, but
Let's see.
it's probably a third party seller at that price.
Sold and shipped by Walmart.
Huh. I'm surprised by that
Yeah, I'd said in my
because
video
they
yesterday that
usually
I
like to
thought.
keep those right at that 299 because they know they can sell them at that price.
Mm-hmm. So this is actually the fourth version of Big Buck that they've done. Because you've got the original, you've got the deluxe, and then you've got the classic, and now you've got the deluxe mossy oak.
Yep.
So it's been done 4 times now. This has been a popular cabinet for Arcade One Up. And,
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very popular game. It's not one that I'm particularly interested in. Not to mention the fact that if I if I brought a hunting game into my house, my wife would shoot me because she's not into she hates that kind of stuff. I have no problem with it, like personally. I know I have a lot of friends who hunt, and it's cool. I get it. It's just not my thing. So this is not the kind of shooter cab that I'm interested in personally, but I get why people like it.
Mhm.
It's definitely a fun game, just not for me.
See, of the 2 new ones, this is the one I'm more interested in. And I
Yeah,
think the
okay.
reason why is just like I remember going to the bars a lot with friends, and there were 2 games that we played a lot. We played Golden Tee
Yep,
and Big Buck. Those were like
absolutely.
staples at the sports bar. You go into any sports bar and they have those typically.
Yep.
And we would get in these games and be really competitive. And my friends are really good at this game. But of course, you're playing it on like a huge screen. It's like a pedestal with like a big screen. These little
Yeah,
17-inch screens, I just don't know if it's going to give
it's
me
tough.
that enjoyment that I got out of the ones at the bar or at the arcade.
Yeah.
Just because the screen's so
Yeah,
small.
there's a new version of this in the arcades now. I forget exactly what they call it, whether it's like Big Buck Reloaded or something like that. It's it's actually a multi-game
Mm-hmm.
uh
Has zombies on it.
system. You know exactly the one I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah, you can play it's got Walking Dead, it's got another zombie game. It's got like 6 or 7 games that you can choose from. I was playing it a couple of weeks back. In fact, I have some video of it. I may do a short on my channel at one point. But it's like it's like a 70-inch, 80-inch TV screen. It's huge.
Yeah,
that's how you got to play these games.
I've seen that at the arcade, and then I actually came across. It's called Big Buck Hunter Reloaded.
Thank you. There you go. Yep.
Yeah, and it's got a bunch of games on it. Here's a
and of course, Big Buck Hunter is one of the games on it. But I was playing one of the zombie games on it, and it was a lot of fun to play with the shotguns.
Let's see here.
17-inch minus the mandatory Cinnamon. Yeah, that always takes away from it too. That's why these things really do need to be. This is it
right here.
Yeah, it's cool. The big screen is really cool on that one.
See, this is what
I feel like the one I played at the screen was even like bigger, but maybe I'm just
it even has Terminator on it. Wow.
Yeah. I think it might be one of those. I think it might be one of those where they can load and choose different games on it, because I know the one I had different games even than this. Does it say how big the screen is in that ad?
This one, it says mini model shown, monitoring.
Mini model. See, that's the mini model. I think the one I played was more. This is more of a a kind of a cab design. I think the one I played
neon
was.
Lights.
I think the one that I played was more of a pedestal design with a big TV in front, and then the guns were in a pedestal out in front of it. I have to go back and find the video. Like I said, I'll probably post it to my channel in a couple of days. But yeah, it's fun. It's definitely fun to play with the shotguns and everything.
This is what, like I was thinking today when I was going through some images of the big bucks, and I was just thinking, if Arcade 1-Up had really done well and was extremely successful last year and this year, maybe they could have brought us something like this, like a premium Arcade 1-Up, in more in line like with something like this, and charge $1,500 or $2,000 and have like a premium line of Arcade 1-Ups.
I don't know. I hear what you're saying, and there would probably be somewhat of a market for it, but just think about how much trouble they had with $1,000 Killer Instinct.
Right.
So.
But of course, you like what you're getting too. Like if you're getting 10 games and you're getting a big screen, and it's the value. If you feel like there's value behind it, you'll pay it. Where I just don't think with the Killer Instinct, people saw that at $1,000 being worth it. Even with the throw-ins, the fatigue mat and the tin sign and all that. This is what I'm hoping that Arcade 1-Up will eventually get to. Is more of like a pedestal design for this cabinet, because
I'd be okay with that even if it was bring your own TV.
Yes, yeah, that's another thought I had too. Is like you bring your own TV, that cuts a lot of the cost out. And just make it plug and play, and you just roll your pedestal up to your TV. They did do that Pac-Man pedestal. It was a projector-cade. Remember that? Yep.
Yeah, didn't do very well, unfortunately, but. Maybe that was the wrong game. Who knows? Maybe something like this. I mean, think about a game like this with light guns on a projector. With a projector, I think would be pretty cool, because then you could play that on a 100-inch screen if you want.
And I was watching PD7's video today, because he, put out a video talking about these cabinets, and I was interested to see what he had to say. And he brought up a really good point. The border takes away even more screen.
Yep.
So even though you have the 17-inch, you're probably losing another inch with that white border. So
yeah, Paul Mindeman in the chat actually even mentioned that tonight, and he's 100% right. That's you need at least a 19-inch screen on these just to combat that border, if nothing else.
Yeah, so just note, guys, if you feel like the
Hey,
17
Brad.
inch is small, it's going to be even smaller with that send-in technology, unfortunately.
Yep.
And I didn't really notice it much until PD7 pointed it out to me today. I was like, you know what? That's kind of annoying that it's taking away even more space on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
But like I have send-in light guns on my iArcade, and it
Yep.
has a
Me too.
19 inch, and the 19 inch is a huge improvement. Even the
Yeah. It's nowhere near as bad. Even though, at least with me, I don't know how you're doing it, but with me, I definitely have to use the thicker border
mhm.
on the for the send in on the games, and it's not bad at all. It's definitely
So
not bad.
Lethal Wolf is asking, will they ever introduce any new games? I think that's the big question. I think
That's
that's what
been the big
everyone's
question for
asking.
like the last 2 to 3 years. Will they
Yeah.
ever release anything new?
I think
I
they're getting closer though with these releases. This shows strong, I think strong finances from Arcade One Up because there was some development that went into this T2. This is
mm,
essentially like a brand new design, like from the ground up. Like I mean, it's
oh yeah,
similar to some of the other deluxes, but it's its own cut, it's its own mold. It did incur some development cost, so that's a good sign, I think, for them.
yeah. It's a shame that with Arcade One Up, it really does feel like 2 steps forward, 3 steps back a lot of the times. Because and I'm going to be totally honest, I did not even when I put my video out. I kind of, as I was doing it, I was doing the Mossio Buck Hunter thing, and I
Hmm.
was just going to talk about the fact that we saw the port data for T2, and I was on the EB game site, and I saw this at the same time, and I said, "Ooh, okay, I can throw this in there
Hmm.
as well," um, and I was just looking at the dimensions they had for the Canadian site in centimeters. I wasn't really thinking about it in terms of inches and everything. It did not dawn on me until after people were commenting on the video, and I took closer looks at it again, that this does look a lot like it's more of that slimmer design that they're doing for the deluxes, where it's not as deep, and
Hmm.
you can really tell it by the change in the artwork on the side, with Arnold being
Hmm.
so much further down. I know you mentioned it in your video,
Hmm.
for sure, how much how much real estate there is between Arnold's head and the top
Hmm.
of that thing. He really should be up a lot further on the
Yeah.
side of the cab. So I do think this is probably a slimmer design, which is definitely a detriment to this one compared to the other
Hmm.
one. I also think it is shorter, right,
Hmm.
than the
Oh
original
yeah, it is
release.
shorter, and it's quite a bit shorter. Where you
Yeah.
may possibly be gaining like some height on the big buck, like a half an inch or something like
Hmm.
that. You're losing quite a bit. You're losing like almost half a foot of height on
Yeah.
the T2. So I've got an image here where we can compare that. So this is the old model on the
Oh wow.
right,
Yeah.
65.51. This is the new one on the left,
Hmm.
61.5.
Yep.
So 4 inches, a little over 4 inches that you're losing, and and also the depth is a lot less. And um, I don't know if you need it to be super stable. The thing I liked about the riser was it kept the cabinet more stable. Um, wouldn't rock as much. With this cabinet, you don't have your hands on the
Yeah,
game
because you
deck
don't. Yeah,
at
yeah.
any point.
You're standing back with the gun, so it isn't moving. Isn't moving anywhere. But it is a shame that they had to lower it. And again, I think they're trying to keep it in line with all the others in terms of trying to keep the height a little more uniform, because
Hmm.
this is just slightly shorter than that big buck hunter that we looked at. And I think even there, oh, Paul. Um, and even with that big buck hunter, like some of that extra little bit of height might just be the fact that that they're probably measuring it to the top of the marquee, which juts up a little bit.
Hmm.
Screen placement, I'm gonna guess, is probably about the same height as that new buck hunter. So
Hmm.
would it be nice if it was higher? Sure. Is it too short? Maybe not.
Hmm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You know what I mean?
One
Because
thing
if the
you can
big
do
buck
is
hunter is okay, then this would be okay too, technically.
Yeah, one thing too, you could get a riser, like an inline riser for it.
Sure, absolutely.
Arcade One Up has the official one. I think that one would probably bring it up too high. But I'm sure like Buy Stuff or GI Joel or one of those guys will have like a 2-inch or a 4-inch riser for this that you
Yep.
can put under it, bring it to a reasonable height.
Oh yeah, I mean, from the Bicep store, I think has. Well, actually, it's tough to say because I know like the Bicep. I'd have to look. I haven't looked at their site in a while. I don't know if they've made ones that work with the slimmer, like less depth design. Most of theirs were designed for very specific dimensions. So I don't know, but I'm sure you could still do something. You could definitely do something with it.
I did notice on the advertisement that they're showing the cords. Did you see that?
Yes.
I guess because they were hiding them before, and people were like, "What the heck?" When they put it together, what are these cords hanging
Yep.
out? They're visible in their advertisement, so they're not hiding that now.
No, which is fine. And a lot of people did, mods to the original one to hide the cords anyway and keep them more in. I do like that they've at least put a coin door on this because that front one, the original one, it's just too plain. So it is nice that they've done that with this.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to ask you about and kind of get your input on is the marquee. You know, the marquee was really washed out on the previous version.
Yep.
It seemed like it was like you had to replace it pretty much because it was just that washed out. What do you think they're going to do with this one? Do you think they're going to upgrade that to like a more like their newer ones that look a lot better?
I would hope so. I have to say, again, like, the two steps forward, 3 steps back. One of the steps forward, I think, has been the quality of their marquees. I think they have done a much better job with them. So I'm going to just go out on a limb and speculate that this will be a better marquee than the original. Of course, we won't know for sure until somebody sees it. But hopefully it will be a better one than the original one. So
I'm getting told my mic volume is low. Let's see if I
you
can
sound okay to me.
Increase it somehow. Oh, let's see. You sound good to you, but let's see if I can increase this somehow. Let's see. I made an adjustment there. I can do what's called auto gain control.
Don't do that.
Oh, don't do that. Okay.
Don't do that. I did that. I accidentally did that on my stream when I had Glenn on, and it was going all over the place. I'd be fine 1 minute, and then the next minute nobody could hear me. I would suggest against it.
I'm gonna take this off too. You know these little foam things you put on.
Yeah.
There? Take that off and see if I sound better now. I put this on there because I was getting like too much. Like when I would say peas, it would pop. You know the sound would pop. So I put this. Foam thing on there.
Those should help with that.
But you guys let me know. Do I sound a little bit better now? And I also put on what was it? Stereo input, stereo audio input. So we'll see if that helps. Either Biggie D is low or Bill is high. Okay. Well, you guys let me know. Do I sound better? Am I more in line? Because that right before we went live, that was what I was worried about. And I told Bill, I was like, I always dislike when I'm watching a stream and one person's loud and you can't hear the other person. You always want them to be the exact same. No change, still low. Okay, let's see. Where else can I?
Well, I actually lowered mine a little bit too. Okay. Maybe that'll put us more in line.
Let's see. And there's
either that or everybody's going to complain we're both low now.
Yeah, there's no like adjustment either in Restream. I use Restream for the guests. And let me know now if it sounds better or way too fast, Joe, for you. All right.
Oh, that was before, but well.
So, but yeah, I normally use OBS. Like I've been streaming solo for the last few weeks now.
Yep.
And I love OBS. OBS is perfect for me. I only use Restream.
That's what I use too.
When I have guests come in, and I haven't been having guests often lately, so I've gotten so used to OBS. I haven't even been in here in over a month and a half. Volume's fine now. Meatball Saucy says, okay, good.
All right, cool.
So I got an email today from Arcade One Up. Did you get this email about the claw machine?
Yeah, I've seen that, and again, as you mentioned, every once in a while I do check, like, the port data just to see what's kind of, what's coming in, just try to keep up on things. And I have seen these come in, so
These
all
must
right,
be
everybody says we're
selling.
good, so okay. Yeah, I can imagine these are probably selling well because, again, these appeal to a broader audience
Hmm.
than even just the home arcade enthusiasts. So
I think this is the third time they've re-upped on these. That they had the initial run, they did a
mhm.
second run a couple months back. This is the third time they've done it. So it seems like this is going to be a regular thing. They're going to keep putting these out there as long as people are buying them.
I think it would be smart for them to keep these as an evergreen that they just keep releasing because
Hmm.
people do seem to like them. It would be nice to see them do some new skins on these. I know a while back there was a leak of some Hello Kitty
Oh yeah.
themed stuff, and I know a lot of people, especially in this community, we're 40 and 50 plus year old dudes who are buying these for the most part. So it was like Hello Kitty, but
Hmm.
uh, they'd sell.
Hmm.
They would sell for sure. I think people would. There's a Hello Kitty's a big market.
Hmm.
I mean, could they do other themes that would be more appealing to people? Sure, but these are more for, if you've got kids or grandkids or whatever
Hmm.
coming over to play on them. That's who this is going to appeal to. So,
And then the
will the
mods, talking about the skins, I
yeah.
see a lot of people in the community modding these with the skins that they want. And there's a lot of different, people out there, third party art websites that create all kinds of art packages for these. So you can pretty much make it look any way that you want.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've seen the Pizza Planet ones and
Hmm.
all that kind of stuff, the Chuck E. Cheese. So yeah, absolutely. Because these are very plain looking.
Hmm.
So to do some artwork on them, I think is something necessary.
Yeah, so the arcade went up. They seem to be doing well. They've got the claw machines back in stock. We've got the Big Buck coming. We've got the T2 coming.
Yep.
What's next? I had commented on my recent video that, hopefully this will bring in enough money or incentivize them to make something new finally. What could it be? Robotron Smash TV, I think, would be a really safe bet if they were to go that route. Or even the track and field, they had that prototype that was really far along.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That would be a good one. Do you have any suggestions on ones that they could try for their new release if they were to do one?
Oh, there's there's lots of suggestions. The problem is it really does come down to licensing and what do they still have, what can they still get, things like
Mm-hmm.
that. Obviously, there's a ton of speculation that a lot of the licenses that they had, they no longer have, like Atari,
Mm-hmm.
Konami, and things like that. If Konami's gone, then there goes track and field. So it really would depend on what they still have access to. Now, obviously, Midway. They still have for sure. Um,
Raw Thrills.
Raw Thrills. It does look like they still have. At least they're still putting out the Fast
Fast
and
and
Furious. That's
Furious.
another one that they keep re-releasing because it seems to sell very well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, be nice. It would be nice if they're still doing Raw Thrills. It would be nice to see them do something like, if they're going to stick with the shooter cabs,
Mm-hmm.
Jurassic Park would be fantastic. I
Oh,
think if
yeah,
they
that
did
would
a
be a good
Jurassic
one.
Park, that would be a really good one
Mm-hmm.
for them for sure. If they want to, if they still, keep it with Midway, if they want to go older and stuff, Robotron, Smash TV, that cab I think would do really well for them. But
They're still doing
we'll have
the
to wait and see.
Pac Man Deluxe, the Class of '81, the Infinity Game Table,
Yep,
the X Men '97, and the Golden Tee and the NBA Jam Slim. Those are the
yep.
ones they have. So Raw Thrills, what is it? IT or it technologies?
IT.
IT Technologies.
Yeah,
I guess they still have Capcom because they got that X Men
I think.
'97, but that's the only Capcom they have left.
Yeah, they may just be selling out old stock on that, so we'll have to wait and see.
Mm-hmm. So that's about it for Arcade One Up, but it is a good week. I mean, just a week or two ago, I was, starting to think, should I start talking about Arcade One Up, closing their doors? Is this the
Hmm.
end? And that's where I was at, a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago. That was my thought process. And then all these cabs hit, and it's like everything changes. It's like they kept all this under wraps for so long. It never got leaked that everyone was assuming the worst, but actually, things seem to be going pretty well for them behind the scenes, and we just didn't know that.
Hmm.
And that's too because they're not really connected with the community much anymore, like they used to be, and they're not giving us like content creators inside information like they used to. So we really don't know much until it gets listed on some website or Arcade One Up officially releases it. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think most of us at this point have resolved ourselves to the idea that Arcade One Up has basically given up on the idea of trying to cater to uh, any particular community at
mm-hmm,
all. Um, here, you know, the dirty little secret that nobody wants to talk about because everybody, oh, they're going to go out of business, and that nothing, they're just doing all these rehashes and blah 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 blah. Well, okay, it's keeping the doors open for them.
mm-hmm,
If they do nothing, I hate to say this, but it's from a business point of view, it's the God's honest truth. If they do nothing but release a new Pac-Man and sell it every single year and it sells well enough, they'll stay in business for the next 10, 20, 30 years. Nobody here will give a crap. But why do they care if it makes them money and it keeps the doors open? Why do they care?
right.
It's the businesses are in business to make a profit, to make money, and if that's how they have to do it for the rest of their business life, that's what they're going to do. It's going to suck for the rest of us who would love
Mm-hmm.
to see something new, who have bought a bunch of these, who want to be a repeat customer and aren't going to continue to buy the same old over and over and over again. But it's the sad truth that nobody really wants to come to grips with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's how business operate. It's bottom dollar. How much money are we making? What's our profit margin? They're thinking of us very little. Where before we kind of ran things. Like what we would say, they would try to make happen. Where
Mm-hmm.
now they're thinking about what's going to make us more profitable, and they have to do what they have to do to stay in business. So
Oh,
I can't
absolutely.
fault them for that, and I just want to see them continue to be successful because that also helps other competitors and competition, and that's when we end up getting better products. So I'm all for it, and hopefully we get something from them. If we don't, hopefully someone else makes it. So
Yep.
good to
Yep.
see
I'm
that.
keeping, like I said, I'm keeping my fingers crossed, trying to be cautiously optimistic for Basic Fun. It's a little unnerving that we haven't really seen much other than that toy book
Mm-hmm.
article and things. Look, with Basic Fun, if you're a fan of Arcade One Up, you're going to be a fan of Basic Fun because they're going to basically be the exact same
Mm-hmm.
thing. If you hate Arcade One Up, you're not going to care about Basic Fun, even if they release a ton of stuff that you really want, like a WrestleFest. But if that's the direction they're going to go, if they're gonna do something like a WrestleFest, if they're going to pick up Atari after Arcade One Up lost it and
Mm-hmm.
all that kind of stuff, then they're the next ones that this community is going to be interested in, and we're going to leave Arcade One Up behind because they're not going to do anything new.
Right. Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the Basic Fun also because you're like we had that article right, and these cabinets are supposed to come by the end of the year supposedly. We're getting to that window now where we're at the end of July. I just heard school's about to start back up. We're getting
Mm.
into almost fall now. Where where is the deadline? When do you think they actually have to at least get like a pre-order out there in time for it to hit by November? Like, do you think they could do it next month? And if they don't do it by next month, it's not going to make this year. Or
Mm, no, I think they have a couple of months. I would say probably October is like drop dead. September should really be what they're looking at right at the beginning of fall.
Mm-hmm.
October would be drop dead if they want to get stuff into people's hands for the holidays.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think a lot of us were hoping to see stuff by now,
Yeah, and you
which is,
monitor all the port data. You would think we would see. Would Basic Fun show up on that?
oh yeah,
Okay, because they're not
they definitely,
manufacturing those here. They're
no, they are
manufacturing
definitely
those.
manufacturing them overseas. Um, Again, most of what they're bringing in lately is a lot of their other stuff, their plush toys and their other product lines.
Mm-hmm.
We saw a Mortal Kombat related product
Oh, that's right.
come in,
Yep.
but again, I'm fairly certain that that's going to be a re-release of their little small handheld device.
Yeah.
But it also could mean a re-up. It could mean a midway license.
Mm-hmm.
It's always tough to tell because licenses are different across different products. You might think, oh, it's arcade. It's not. A small handheld is going to be a different license from a 3/4 size machine. So even though they would bring that in, it doesn't necessarily translate to something bigger, but it kind of gives us a little hope that maybe it does.
Right. Yeah. So this is what you were discussing there. This is what you're
Yeah,
thinking is
exactly.
coming.
Yes,
Okay. Yeah, I
that's
think
I'm pretty sure.
and just because they have the license on this doesn't necessarily mean they're ever going to get a license for a 3/4 or larger arcade.
Right.
Because this is a
And one of
different
the
product line,
Yep.
pretty much.
And one thing you have to remember with these two, this is also using console ROMs, not arcade ROMs. I believe this one actually used the Genesis version
Mm-hmm.
of Mortal Kombat, which is in this case the better version over the Nintendo version.
And
But
that's what My Arcade was doing with their handhelds. They were using
yes,
Genesis versions of those ROMs.
yes,
So that
yeah.
makes a lot of sense that they would.
It makes sense in a smaller product
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Well, all right. That's our 3/4 scale home arcades for tonight.
High steps.
We're going to talk about another arcade here in a moment, but that
Mhm.
is definitely not a 3/4 scale. So we'll get to that here in just a second. We'll
Okay.
talk next about Williams Pinball because I was really interested in this news. I've been playing a lot of Williams Pinball in VR lately, and then I still play it every once in a while on my Switch, on my PC. Also, I would like to get a 4KP eventually,
Same.
whenever the time is right. So I'm following a lot of Williams and Zen Studios, releases lately.
Yep.
So when this news came out, I was really interested in it, and I really kind of wanted to give my opinion on what I thought was coming. And I had brought up this graphic, and these were like my top 3 I wanted to see that met the criteria that Zen had given us for the releases. I wanted number 1 Elvira because it was made in
Oh,
1989, sold over 4,000 units. And then Taxi was my second favorite, and that one was in 1988 with 5,000 units. And then F-14 Tomcat, 1987, surprisingly 8,100 units. That was a big seller for
Wow.
the 80s.
Wow.
I guess because that Top Gun was big around that time, and that
Okay, that makes
technology was
sense.
rather new still
Yeah.
around the early 80s, mid 80s. So I think that was like really fascinating stuff for fighter jets and stuff. So it did really well. I played that pinball actually on location at Starfighters a couple weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
F-14 is a hard pinball table.
Oh, is it?
That
I've
thing is
never played it.
flying around so fast. You got to be ready to go because it is a fast pinball table. So these were my top 3. What if you had a preference on? Did you do any research on possible Williams
No,
tables?
I didn't, to be quite honest. I didn't bother to go back and look at everything. I did not think Elvira would be one of them as much as most people would love that. I have a feeling that if they're gonna do if they're gonna do an Elvira, it's probably going to be a single pack game. I think that's a big enough license that they're probably not going to bundle it with others.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they could get away with that. I think they could sell that one for $10-15 on its own.
Yeah, it's that big of a license.
It's that big of a license. So fingers crossed that they do that eventually. Unless she's got something exclusive like right now with Stern, since they just put out an Elvira not that long ago. If there's no exclusivity that they can't release, the older game featuring her, then I think that would be a slam dunk move for them to bring that one out eventually. In terms of this one that they're actually coming out with, we're going to get to it, but obviously Pinbot has already been announced.
We got one announced already of the
smart move because they've already got Bride of Pinbot. So, and I think there's a third one. Thank you, Jackpot. There's a third one. So is that one of the ones that's going to be released as part of this to kind of complete the trilogy?
Well, I think Jackpot was made in the 90s. 91, 92, I think.
Okay, maybe they'll do that one later then.
Pinball, yeah. So that one I don't think will be part of this collection or this pack. Let's see. What year was that one made? Because I'm curious. Year made, Jackpot Pinball. Oh. Was it made in 1970s? Maybe it's one of the older ones. I don't know. I have to do a little more research on that one. I thought it was a newer one.
I thought it was after the others.
But from what I've been hearing, because I've been following a lot of the Zen Studios pinball community on Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that, Jackpot has like gambling in it, so there's a lot of speculation that they may not go that direction. It may just be Pinbot and Bride of Pinbot. We may never see that third one. Just because the gambling aspect in that pinball table.
Okay.
They may want to steer clear of that. But this was a good one. 1986 Pinbot. This is a great table. I found out, did you know this came out on NES?
No.
Yeah.
I did not realize they released an NES version of this.
Yes. Yeah. I was totally surprised by this. I found this out today. And I was looking it up. It looks like a pretty interesting
Calvin
game.
Wan is saying it's a different. So are you looking up Jackpot or Jackbot?
Oh, I must be looking up Jackpot.
No, I think it's Jackbot.
Yeah, Jackbot Pinball year. Let's see.
Yeah, I think you're looking up the wrong one.
1995. Okay.
Okay. All right.
I knew something was off
that makes
there.
a little bit more sense. Okay.
Yeah. So,
and Meatball saying the hints no longer apply for the rest of that could be true.
Did you know there's actually an advertisement in Jackpot 2 that advertises Mortal Kombat 2 in the pinball table? Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, I've read that. I'll have to really look into that some more to make sure that's accurate. Maybe someone in the chat can tell us, is Mortal Kombat 2 at some point in that pinball table? Because I heard that. But it would make sense. That was around the time that Mortal Kombat games were really popular. And if you remember, NBA Jam had a bunch of Mortal Kombat stuff in it.
Yes.
Secret unlockable characters and stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised by that. And then also there was another pinball table, Funhouse, that had the creator of Mortal Kombat was a part of that pinball table. Yeah. So just some thoughts there. Pinball on the NES, I thought that was cool. So these are my images I made because I tried to make some images that would look similar to what you would see in Zen Studios and more so FX3. I thought these looked more like FX3 than the newer ones, but I thought they came out pretty well. Elvira and the Party Monsters, and then the F-14 Tomcat. Like if you had the arcade one up, the Zen Studios arcade one up, this is what the screens look like on that. If you ever played that pinball table. Taxi, though, I got to play this one at Starfighters Arcade. This is a lot of fun. I did not think that this pinball table would at all interest me, but after playing it, it's a ton of fun. It's got a Dracula in it. It's got Santa Claus in it. Do you see Pinbot in the back there too?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yep.
I guarantee you, Taxi's one of the three.
That would make sense.
Yeah,
I think that would make sense. I know that one was bandied about, and I think some people were saying Diner. Is another one.
Diner and Taxi will probably be the two.
Yeah,
that are with this pack. We'll have to wait and see, but that's my thought. So I've been posting on their Twitter. I said Elvira and the Party Monsters, and Zen responded. They said, "Who
Who
knows? Stay
knows?
tuned to find out." I doubt it's Elvira based
No.
on that response. But look at this response. I said, "Hopefully it's Elvira and the Party Monsters and Taxi," and they responded, "It would be cool. Stay tuned for our next Bits episode. That's going to be on the 31st."
Yeah.
So I bet Taxi's one of them. Just
Yeah,
based
could
on
be.
that response.
Could be.
So let's go with Taxi and Diner. Does that sound good?
Sure, sounds good.
We'll see.
We'll find out in another week or
excited,
so.
though. I want to.
Yeah, it's always good. It's always good to see them release stuff. Hopefully, and interestingly enough, for those who follow At Games and whatever, it does feel like some of the newer packs that they've released have been coming to At Games relatively quickly. I mean, obviously we had day one release with Tomb Raider, which was pretty cool.
Do you like Tomb Raider?
I've played it in VR and I do like it. I think it's a lot of fun. I do think I think both tables are a lot of fun. I know a lot of people seem to like the mansion one better than the jungle one. I tend to like the jungle one a little bit better. I don't know why. I just think it's a lot of fun.
So, whatever happened to? Let me get this up here. This one, you remember they announced this and it just never got released. It was like 2 days later they said that it wasn't coming. It was delayed.
It's delayed. So it's still coming. I just don't know when. I mean, I have not heard personally anything from them on this as to why the delay. I know it is interesting that not only did they delay this, but then their own game, the firefighters one that was supposed to come out this past week,
that one got delayed also.
That also got delayed.
Wow.
So that did not come out either. So I think it's more than just something with Zen. I think it's something internally with At Games. Of course, the standard thing is, we want to give it more time. We want to make sure it's just right for you guys. And maybe there's truth to that. I don't know. It's just, it just is a little bit odd when it's two back-to-back like that get delayed. And we still don't know
how they announced
when they're coming out.
Even put out the short for it. Because normally once you get the short, it's pretty much a done deal.
Oh, yeah.
But then they delayed it. And then the same with the firefighter. A day or two
I was looking forward to that firefighter game. That one actually looks really cool.
Yeah, that one I was a little bit interested in, not so much because I thought it looked like a great table. I just thought I like the theme, the firefighter theme, and I just thought that would be a cool, fun table to play possibly.
Yeah.
But I didn't think the table looked all that great. I don't know if it'll be a lot of fun to play, but I did like the theme and what they were going for with that one. And that one you could tell they pretty much did in-house completely. It didn't seem. Oh,
yeah, that's an original. It's not a like an update of a Zakaria or anything like that. So it's a fully original theme from them.
They have a new logo for those too. They call them At Games Originals.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's a new line of tables they have coming. So very cool on that. So yep, and this is
fingers crossed. I'm hoping we'll hear something soon. So.
This was the Pinbot announcement, guys. If you were wondering about what it's going to look like, it looks really good. Looks like they've been working on this one for a while. They already had the Bride of Pinbot, so this is just another kind of version, one of the 3 versions of the Pinbot series of pinball tables. So this one will be a good one. And this is supposed to come out, or have they said what it is all coming out on? I know it'll come out on consoles, PC.
I think for VR. Now they've just mentioned the consoles and PC through Steam. I don't think they definitely did not say At Games yet, and I don't think they mentioned VR with the original announcement. So this may just be a standard release for them right now.
Okay, so right now no word on if it's coming to VR. And if it does, maybe it'll come later. And then 4KP, no word on that yet as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, good thing about the 4KP is you can do OTG. So if you got a PC that can play these games, you can just play them that way.
Yep, you can always do that. Yep.
So we'll move on now to another arcade with that down. This is the Build-A-Cade FU. And this is a really good subject for you, Bill, because you were part of that Kickstarter release and that initial stream with Glenn where you basically were live when the Kickstarter was going on.
Yep.
And it initially started. In 7 minutes, it was fully funded?
Somewhere in that time. Definitely under 10.
Mm-hmm. So what was that like streaming with him? And, before the stream, were you anticipating that it was going to be that successful? Or did he give you any insight on that?
No. I think it was definitely a little nerve-wracking for both of us because, you do something live like this and you hope for the best, but you never know what could possibly happen. Like the worst thing that could have happened is this thing go live and it just sits there and nothing happens.
Oh man, that would have been
bad. The fact that and we even had a little bit of a moment like right at the beginning because it felt like it launched a minute later than it was supposed to be like 9. It was supposed to go, and it was like 9:01 our time when it finally clicked over and went live. And then we just started watching and everything coming. I mean, Glenn was not even paying attention to a word I said from that point on. He just kept refreshing the screen and watching it and watching it and watching it. It was so funny, but I'm glad we stuck with it. I'm glad it worked out the way
he was
it did.
Overjoyed. He was so happy. As soon as it went live. It's live now. It's live. You guys can get it now.
it was just really for me, it was a thrill to be a part of that, to help him out. And I was so happy for him that it went well, and it's still going well. It's more than doubled its pledge goal, at least in terms of the money. Well over the number of units he was hoping to sell. He was hoping to get at least 200. He's at 230. You can see here he's at 236 now. Close to 450,000.
That's amazing.
And there's still a month to go. So, this could definitely go up. It does feel like it's slowed down a little bit, but, usually with these things. Yeah, exactly. Usually with these things, the initial hype is what drives everything over. And then whatever extra time you have
at the end, hopefully.
Yeah. There should be a burst right before the end of it too, but it's good news for him. I think it's good news for the home arcade community and people who are going to be getting these. I think they're going to be fantastic. I'm still, Glenn and I do talk a lot. We're still waiting for him to get the prototype one in his hands. He's seen a lot of it. We're like working with his people overseas and whatever. So he's seen video and he knows, where it is and where it's leading. He's still, they're still making some last minute tweaks and things, making sure it's exactly what it needs to be. Nothing crazy, nothing that's going to radically change what people have already pledged for, but just some minor things. I know like one of the control decks is a steering wheel or dual steering wheel control deck. He's trying to get some finished work on pedals and even a shifter to go with it. And if he can get it, he said, if he can get it done in time and if he can convince his people,
it'll be kind of like
it'll be an add-on
to those like Atari steering wheels, the ones that rotate real fast.
Like off-road. It's basically his spinner with a steering wheel attachment.
Okay.
It's really, technology wise, that's all. It's a 360-degree wheel, but it's basically his spinner with a steering wheel attachment to it. So, but if he can get the other things done, I know Glenn, he'd love to just throw it in, but it might wind up being more of like a stretch goal type thing where if people want to pay a little bit more to get that added to it, they could. So we'll wait and see what happens with that. But I know he's always working on it. And, again, I'm excited because when he does get one of these, I am going to be able to get my hands on it. I am going to be able to test it out, give my feedback to him, and hopefully that's going to happen in the next couple of weeks.
You a review unit or
no, I live 30 minutes from him. I'm
Oh,
going to
okay,
go
so
to
you're
his,
just gonna head over there.
I'm going to go to his place. A lot of people who watch his stream, they know that sometimes he streams with another guy, Glenn Bailey.
Yeah.
Glenn and I are buddies. We've known each other since high school. We went to high school together.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
So we've known each other forever. It's actually, small world. We thought it was hysterical that we knew each other, and now we both know Glenn. Know Glenn.
Small world.
Exactly. So he and I are probably going to get together. We're going to go to Glenn's house because, again, Glenn Baisley lives like a couple of roads over from Glenn Plenamento.
I'm looking forward to that content.
So
when are you expecting that to happen?
I've been expecting it for a month. So I'm still, holding out hope that it is going to be sometime certainly before the end of the Kickstarter, but even, so that, we can let people know. And like you said, maybe get another good burst to this thing
before the end.
Yeah. But even if not, it's still going to be plenty of time to, make some final tweaks and adjustments to this if need be based on our feedback. So we're going to try to do our best for the community and give our honest feedback and opinion to Glenn so that he can really, make sure that this thing does exactly what he wants it to for people. That's
awesome. Very cool. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Now the two models, you got the 19-inch, you've got the 26-inch. If you were to get one of these, which one would you go for?
I've always said I would get the 19-inch.
Okay. Is that like a cost thing, or is you just like
no? I dig the rotating screen.
Okay. Yeah, I'm right there with you. You have to manually do the 26-inch, and it may be quite a bit of work to adjust that all the time. Where you just press a button on the 19-inch. And 19-inch is still a big screen. That's what they were in the original arcades.
Yep.
Back in the 90s, they were 19-inch, so that should be just fine. Also, I was going to mention, you're kind of like me. We both have the Ultimate Control Panel in our iArcades.
Yes.
You've done the Mystery Encoder mod. I didn't do the switcher.
I did not the Mystery Encoder. I did the switcher.
Oh, you did the switcher. Okay. I did Mystery Encoder. I never did the switcher box mod. You've done that.
Yes.
So we both have kind of like a ultimate, multi-cade already from
it's basically the 1.0 version of what this is going to be in a lot of respects.
And you use the gold, which is even a bigger cabinet. So
yes.
I just did it on the original iArcade, and I'm really happy with mine. So I don't know if I'm going to get one of these just because I feel like everything that I need is in my iArcade with all his parts.
Yeah, I get that. Yep.
So, but if this thing really blows me away and people are really happy with it, maybe I'll sell the iArcade and get one of these. The FOMO may be enough to convince me to get one. So, a couple more subjects. I don't want to keep you too long tonight because I know we've already gone over an hour and it's getting late over there on the East Coast. So we'll kind of.
I'm still good for a little while. We can keep going for a bit.
Okay, cool. We've got Golden Tee Arcade Classics. I talked about this about a month ago when it was announced. Probably going to pick this one up. Looks like from the reviews and the people that have already picked this up, you can just plug any USB trackball device into your console and it will recognize the game. So, or the game will recognize the trackball. So that's really cool that they've been able to do that. And I think this is a great game to release. You don't have to buy a whole cabinet now. You can just buy the game and maybe mod a cabinet with and put this in there.
Yeah.
It also just has all the games you want. That shuffle shot, bowling. It looks pretty cool. What do you think of this?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much the same games that are in the arcade 1-up, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, same games.
Yeah, I think I think if you can do it and hook up a trackball, like you said, it's probably a lot of fun. I can't imagine how good that on-screen trackball is. Although, interestingly enough, I have heard people say, like with the PlayStation 5, the little touchpad on that you can kind of use that the trackball. And I got to imagine, same thing with the Switch, that, if you play it in handheld mode, doing the touchscreen, would probably work. And in fact, as a matter of fact, that's probably a fun way to play this, to take it on the go with you, because there's so many ways to play. There's a million different ways to play Golden Tee nowadays, that I think if I were going to get it, I might get it on the Switch, just said, because, you know, you can kind of take it in handheld mode and play it that way, which is, you know, a different way to play it. I may pick this up only because I do have the golden, funny as it sounds, so I do have the Golden Tee New Wave toys coming with Glenn's bigger control panel. I pre-ordered that a year ago or whatever it was.
Definitely delayed.
So yeah, I know. But it is supposed to come out, I think, around October.
Yeah, it sounded promising.
Year. So before the end of the year, it's gonna come out. Obviously, I can play all these games. Well, other than the Shuffle Shot and the bowling, I think it's just the Golden Tee games on that thing, so I can play them on that. But I am curious to maybe take the bigger control panel and plug that into my console and try to play these and see if it works. So I might try that. I might try that at some point. I might not pick this up until it gets closer to the New Wave toys coming out, but I'd love to try it and just see if it works. And if worst case scenario and it doesn't, I'll still have it to play.
I'm interested to see your content on that Golden Tee New Wave toys when it comes, because I was really interested in that whenever they announced it, and it's just been so long. It seems like I did that stream with New Wave Toys when that was announced with P-Dubs. I was one of the guests on that stream with P-Dubs, and they were talking about that, and it just seems like that was so long ago now.
I know. It has taken them such a long time.
I did see that, Mike.
For a lot of this, I think, you know, a lot of this, I know for this one in particular, they were really, really trying to work on getting that one into retailers. So I know that has a lot to do with the delay, was working out the deal for that, because they didn't want to release it until they had a deal in place for that as well. So it sounds like they're like right there. Hopefully there's no delay in that will delay pushing this off yet again, because I know people are already, you know, feeling like, you know, they paid their money a long time ago and these things are just never coming out.
Here is
audio is out of sync with the video for me.
Yeah, that happens with Restream. Yeah,
weird.
I went with Restream because Black Friday they do like a deal where you can get a full year of Restream for like $100, and that's the only reason I use Restream. It's really not that great of software. It seems like everyone in our community that uses it has issues with the audio being out of sync, or, you know, people disconnecting or something. So that's typical. That's unfortunate, but we'll work through it here.
Yeah.
At least we can hear you. And
we Glenn Streck will work on arcade classes and T for Xbox. Don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I would hope so. It's just a USB controller, really. I mean, it's Bluetooth. I mean, you could do a Bluetooth or you can use it with USB. I'm pretty sure, I believe it has a USB port on it that you can plug it in. So I would hope it works.
We'll have to see.
I guess it would depend on the console if they recognize it or not. I mean, Xbox, I would assume of all of them, Xbox is the most likely for it to work.
It's Windows,
because it's so close to PC based.
They say the new Xbox is going to have Windows on it. I guess that new Xbox handheld will be Windows based.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that would be the most likely to work. But from what I've been hearing, people are not having trouble using their USB trackballs with this game. And that's how it was advertised.
Yeah, so I would think that Glenn's controller is probably going to work just fine with it.
I think so as well. So that's a good release. Also, I wanted to mention Mike of All Trades. You had done a video on this week. I'd caught his video as well, where Crystal Castles,
yeah, that was good.
The skee ball was in there. And what website is that?
Yeah. Sideshow.
Okay. And they've got them listed.
Sideshow Collectibles is one of the few semi-retailers that does carry New Wave toys, you know, outside of New Wave Toys Direct. And they were doing a stream showing off a bunch of stuff that they have coming, and just so happens that they were showing off the Crystal Castle and Skee Ball, which is interesting that they were showing those two, because there are other things coming ahead of those. You know, again, Golden Tee is supposed to be ahead of Crystal Castle. The Black Hole Pinball is supposed to be ahead of that, and Skee Ball's not coming out till next
Mm-hmm.
year sometime. So it was interesting that they showed that, but it was really cool to get to see more of the Skee
Yes.
Ball than we've seen before. I think that thing looks really cool. I'm actually kicking myself for not
Well, you
pre-ordering
weren't at
it
the Cleveland Gaming Classic a
now.
couple years ago when we were all there, were you? They had it
No,
there. So a lot of
no.
us in the community have already
Yeah.
seen that skee ball.
Well, it was a lot different. The original one, I feel like that first one they did was a lot different from what they're putting out now from the video and the pictures. I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
basic premise, the basic shape of it was probably
Mm-hmm.
very similar, but of course they've added the ticketing machine that wasn't
Yes.
there. Some of the lighting
Mm-hmm.
effects and stuff wasn't there. I think they changed weren't the ball, correct me if I'm wrong, because you were there. The balls
They
were
were.
wooden
Yeah, I
though,
think
weren't
they
they? Weren't they
were.
little wooden balls? And
Okay.
now they're metal.
I guess they travel better when
So
they're metal. They're a little heavier.
yeah, and I think if I remember correctly on that sideshow when they said there's something like magnetic, like
Oh,
in the
okay.
targeting part to attract them so that they
Oh,
jump
nice.
into the holes a little bit better. So that would kind of make sense to try to keep it in the targeting area so that they don't just bounce and bounce
That's
right
one thing
off
about New Wave Toys.
of it.
They put so much detail into these, and they spend so much time developing these to where they're like they're perfectionists. You know, they want them to be 100% perfect when they release, and sometimes that makes them
Yeah.
take a long time to release them. But man, I know when they do finally hit that website and you can buy them or they're shipping them, you're gonna get a great
Yep.
product because they put a lot of love
Absolutely.
and a lot of time into these. And
Yep. And they, again, despite the delays and whatever, and I understand people's frustration. Believe me, I'm frustrated. I've ordered some stuff from them too that I've been waiting for a long time. But like you said, they really do feel like they actually care about the community of people who buy their stuff. They really do feel like they're trying to put out the best product, and they are one of the few companies that you can actually say listens to community and fan
Mhm.
feedback. And that's so evident in what they've been doing, like with the screens lately, with that CRT effect. The first one they put out for that, the
Mhm.
Missile Command, was interesting, but the execution wasn't 100%
Right.
there. And they went back to they listened to that and they went back to the drawing board. And now if you look what they're doing with that CRT effect on their screens, it's light years ahead of that
Mhm.
first one. And it's just so much better. And they really do listen. I feel they really do listen to what people have to
I've
say.
got both these. I've got the Zoltar and I've got the charging machine.
Yeah, I love the
And
Zoltar.
I'm a big fan of these.
Yep.
I didn't think I would like the cigarette.
Yeah.
I got the Artimat. I didn't think I would really like it, but I love it
Okay.
now that I have it because it charges all my devices.
Yep.
And
I have the one that looks like the change machine. So I didn't bother with the
Okay.
cigarette one, but yeah, and I have the and I love the Zoltar. The Zoltar's
Zoltar's
great.
awesome. The only thing I wish about Zoltar is it had some like more like a track mode stuff going on. Like I don't keep mine on, only when I'm using it.
No,
I don't
neither.
just like keep it on all the time.
No, but it is cool that they did add some like
They
the
do have
motion
that,
sensor
yeah.
to it, so that they do have the motion sensor to it. So if you do like move your hand in front of it or whatever, he will talk and all, just like a real one, which is pretty cool.
And then the charge machine, that was one that that I didn't think I'd like, but I really liked the lighting on it. This image came up. I actually was going to mention this on one of my streams, but I never got a chance to. This was a short. See how that I noticed this. See how it's not even screwed on all the way?
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I see it.
What do you do to keep your what do they call these? That you got the bat top, the ball top. Yeah, what do you do to
ball
keep
tops.
the ball top on?
Honestly, I just screw them on and leave it. But they do feel sometimes when you're playing them that they do kind of come a little loose, which is a shame. I'm not 19K Fox. I'm not going to use Loctite and glue them down.
I know P-Dubs, he'll use like a wrench and tighten it that way. I just don't want to scratch the metal. So
I'm always concerned about that, or if I have to take it apart for some reason, that it would be difficult
Uh-huh.
to do. I mean, I guess another thing you could do is you could maybe take a little tiny piece of like
That's
that
what I do.
plumber's tape and
I use electrical tape.
put it around the threads, and all to kind of keep it on there a
Hmm.
little bit
I
better.
use electrical tape. I'll wrap it around it and then put the ball top over it, and it keeps it really secure. Now, if you
Yeah.
want to take it off, you can,
Oh, they see. There you
but
go.
it's
That'll
a
work.
secure enough to where it
Yeah.
doesn't fall off when you're playing. And that's been always the route I've gone. But everyone's got their own
Nice.
ways that they do things, and it's just funny that that's a common issue for everyone with these, even Arcade One Up official.
Oh yeah. 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 Well,
So this
it's
is the
always something.
Chuck's Arcade. This was pretty popular a couple weeks ago. I haven't had
Mm.
a chance to talk about it yet. But you saw this news, didn't you? That these are coming around all the
Oh
country.
yeah. Yeah. I talked about it on one of my shows recently.
Meatball says wrench.
It looks pretty cool. Yeah, so you wrench it a little muscle work. Yep. I would love to check one of these out. There is one not super far from me. It's probably like probably less than an hour away in
Hmm.
Connecticut. So I may go out there one of these days just to
Hmm.
check it out. Um, I'm concerned, especially seeing a lot of these videos. I know they say they've got some older arcades, but everything I'm hearing from a lot of people say it's usually just a
Hmm.
handful of older arcades. That most of it is like you see in this video.
Modern.
It's the claw machines, the redemption machines, the modern
Hmm.
arcade machines. And I've got a couple of places. I've got a Dave and Buster's not far from me. I've got a Round One not too far from me, and they're all like that already. So I don't know that I would necessarily go out of my way to go to one of these unless I thought they had some
Hmm.
older stuff to play. So, but just to find out one of I probably will one of these
Yeah, we don't
days.
have one here
But
in
even some of the
Arizona.
newer stuff, some of the newer stuff, I like. Some of the newer stuff is
Yeah,
a lot of
I
fun.
love that Halo arcade. That's one of my favorites when I go to.
Halo's cool. One of my favorite. Have you seen the Godzilla
I have
VR
seen
one?
it, but I'm not a big fan of those because I don't like putting that VR headset on and sharing it with everyone. So I don't
I get
typically
that.
play those.
Yeah, I can understand that. If you get beyond that, you got to try it at least
Hmm.
once. For me, that was and pardon me for saying this, that was a holy shit
Hmm.
moment for me. That particular machine, because there's a lot of VRs and they do a lot of different things. I don't know what I was expecting the first time, but I put the thing on and I started to play it. And it's one of these things, it's not just the VR, but it's got the motion control. So the seat moves. It's got air that blows at you. So it's a full on
Hmm.
immersion. You start to play it and you're in it's like you're in a helicopter or a ship or something, and all of a sudden you rise up and you take off and you're flying and you're going after all these kaiju and different things. And I literally went, oh crap. I feel like I literally felt like I was in something flying. It was that
Hmm.
intense. Um, so if you get past it, you got to try it at least once, because the sensation of flying and going after these kaiju and shooting at them is really really wild. I would love to see Raw Thrills bring some of their games to VR, to like the
Oh yeah,
MetaQuest or the PlayStation VR. Now, it will not be the same.
graphics. Yeah,
Obviously, you're not going to get the same sensation. Well, even the graphics, but you're not going to get the same sensation you do from the arcade with the
the seat that
motion
you're sitting
control,
in.
with the seat moving and all that kind of stuff. But I still think it would be fun
Uh huh.
games to play. But yeah, every time I go there, I gotta play it at least once, because it freaks me out,
I'm gonna
but
have to
it's so
play it
much
now.
fun.
You've convinced me enough that I gotta play
bring
it.
bring you know what, bring some wipes or something and wipe the thing down before you
Yeah,
put it on and whatever, and just play it just
yeah.
once. Just, you got to try it
It
at least
was.
once.
It's a new one. It came out just a couple years ago, and I know
Yeah,
it's great. I've been hearing
yeah,
really good things about it. So yeah, next time I'm in the arcade, I'm gonna give it a shot. These are your locations, though. It looks like they
yeah,
got one in Georgia, a couple in Oklahoma, one in Texas, but we don't have any
yeah.
by me. Looks like Victor,
Yeah,
New
there's
York.
the
How far is that
out
from you? Oh, okay.
it's far. Victor, New York. If I'm remembering correctly, Victor, New York is way, way,
Oh,
way
okay.
up there towards more higher up in the state. So that one's going to be pretty far. The one that's not listed
Hmm.
here, um, and because maybe it's a newer one, I don't know. There's one in Trumbull,
Hmm.
Connecticut, and that's the one that's probably the closest to
Okay.
me.
Meatball Saucy says they do make a facial interface face sanitary mask you can bring to
Yes,
keep
I've seen
your
those.
face from actually touching the community mask. Okay.
Yes, yes,
They
I've
need
seen
to
those
figure
too.
that out because I think that's the one thing that's holding those VR arcades back is just, people don't want to share
Yeah.
those masks. People sweat in them. And
Yeah. Well, it's funny because even like I remember like a lot of the places that are designed that they're just the VR
Mhm.
games and whatever, especially during COVID, like you would see them wiping those things down like
Mhm.
crazy in between people playing. I do feel like they've gotten a little lax
Yeah.
with that now that COVID's not such a big, the big threat
Mhm.
that it was a
Now
few
nobody
years
cares.
ago. But yeah, not exactly. But they should wipe those things down every once in a while, or they should do like they do in the gym, and they should have those little uh, containers
Mhm.
with the wipes that you're supposed to wipe down all the
Yeah.
equipment when you're done on it. They should keep those so that you can do that yourself when you're done playing
Yeah.
for the
That
next
would be
guy.
nice. Just pass it on to the next
Some
person
places
and have
provide
it
them for
clean
you.
for
Yeah, it
them.
makes sense.
So
Yeah.
everybody do that, and it'll keep them clean. So that down, let's
Yep.
talk about some movies to kind of wrap things up, and then a TV show that we both like. So Superman, have you seen it yet?
I have
Okay.
not. I've not had a chance to go see this. I'll be honest. Right now, just going to a movie theater is
Yeah.
a lot. So I'm really trying to be very picky about what, if anything, I go see, and I keep debating: do I want to go
Hmm.
see this, or do I want to go see Fantastic Four? It's probably going to be one
Hmm.
or the other, if at all. So I just don't know. I mean, look, the wait for these things to come on streaming services has gotten
Oh,
so
I
much
know. I
shorter
just watched.
lately that by the end of the year I'll be able to see this on
I was at my
HBO
parents'
Max.
house this last week. I had to visit them for a funeral. My grandmother passed away. She was old.
Oh
She's
man, I'm sorry to hear
87,
that, bro.
so she lived a long life. But I had
Still,
to go visit and be with my family, and they have all the movie channels
yeah,
there. And I watched Minecraft and I watched Sinners, and both of those movies just came out like in the last couple months. So
yeah, yeah. I know it's amazing how fast. I haven't seen Minecraft yet. I do want to watch it because
it's
I like
funny. It's
Jack Black
hilarious.
just
It's a
cracks me up,
dumb,
and
funny
Jason
movie.
Momoa is hysterical.
It's
Yeah, that's what it
yeah.
looks like. So
And it's so funny because Aquaman, he's in it, and he's an arcade gamer.
yeah,
He's
I
like
know.
a pro, and he has like the record in arcade games, uh, and he's
Oh, that's funny.
hilarious. And there's a lot of arcade nostalgia in the movie too. Like they have a Robotron in the movie arcade. Yeah,
Oh, really? Oh,
there's another
cool.
one in it too. Another I can't remember the other one they have in there. But then there's one that's for the movie, an arcade game that's like make believe that they use for the movie. It's pretty cool. If you like arcade games, you're gonna like Minecraft. It's just it fits us.
Yeah, I'll check it out. But yeah, in terms of these, they both
Hmm.
interest me. Um, Again, I don't know. We'll
I
have
don't
to
see
wait
a
and
lot of
see
movies
if I
either.
actually wind
Like
up
I'll go
going
months
to
without
the
seeing movies, but
theaters.
normally around summer and
Yeah,
Christmas, I'll see the big ones in the theater. Just because I
yeah,
think you get a better experience
yeah.
than you do at home. Superman, I saw because I have an Amazon Prime membership, so I got to see Superman 3 days early before everybody else. But I really loved it. I liked it a
Oh,
lot.
okay. I have that too. I
Yeah.
should have looked into it.
But yeah, it was a great movie. I think they did a very good job with it. It really brings a lot of the original Superman movie vibes back. What just a couple of
Nice.
things I wish they would have done is they would have done more Clark Kent stuff. He's in it as Clark
Mm,
Kent, but they don't really dive deep into his life as like just a regular person much. And I liked that about the
yeah.
Christopher Reeve movies is they spent a lot of time as him as Clark Kent is just a regular person and they didn't really do that much in
Yep.
this movie. So maybe in a future like Superman 2, they can go a little deeper into that story. But
Yeah. Well, back in the, I also feel like like back in the day when the original came out in the late 70s and then into
mhm,
the early 80s, and all effects obviously
right,
weren't where they are now with things. So, it was a budget and cost cutting measure to have him
yeah,
be Clark Kent a little bit more than Superman a lot of times, but it also made for a better story. You did have that
mhm,
character development that is missing from so many of these big profile action movies today, where it's all about getting from one action
yeah.
sequence to the next.
And
So
it's
I hear you
jam
on that.
packed with
Yeah.
superheroes and villains. So there's just not a lot of time to do that kind of stuff. So it just moves from fight to action throughout the whole movie. So I love it, but there's also other things I would have liked to have seen too, which that's good. I mean, that gives them more reason to make more of these. But I thought they did a really good
Oh
job.
yeah.
I like the actors, the choices that they had for actors. I also heard today or maybe yesterday that Henry Cavill is coming back, but he's coming back as a different character. So they're going to keep
Interesting.
him involved, but he's going to be a different character.
Yeah, I know they're trying to bring back some of the
Mm-hmm.
others
Lobo
for
is
different roles
Aquaman.
now. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Jason Momoa is supposed to be Lobo, which is
yeah,
good casting for that. I think he would be a really
uh-huh.
good Lobo. So that should be
And
interesting
Peacemaker. So
too.
Peacemaker season 1 came out, and that was the DCEU, and now they're going into the
Yes.
DCU. But Peacemaker's going into the DCU for season 2 next month, and that's because there's this portal through this like dimension, pocket dimension, you can get in to their universe. And,
Oh,
yeah,
is that how they're planning on doing it? I've been wondering how they plan on resolving, because even
uh-huh.
Suicide Squad, like you had the original Suicide Squad movie, and then you had the second one that James Gunn
Yeah,
actually did, and it was kind of sort of a carryover, even though it was like more of a
uh-huh.
soft reboot. And but a lot of those characters, what's her name, Viola Davis
Uh-huh.
playing Waller, are gonna be part of the new
Yeah,
DC
she's gonna.
universe
Yeah,
as
she's gonna
well.
be in the new ones as well.
And also, yeah, they have to kind of try to resolve that somehow too, to bring it all together in a way that makes sense. But Peacemaker is one of those shows where you can do the most like
Yeah,
ridiculous thing and just to make it happen and just go,
yeah.
it's Peacemaker.
He's actually gonna meet himself in the new universe, and
Oh,
yeah.
that should be interesting. So I'm curious to check that out. I liked the first season. I thought the first
Mhm.
season was great. So I'm definitely going to check
Yeah,
out the
James
second
Gunn,
one.
he's not scared to do, out of the box ideas and things. So
Oh
I love
no.
that about him. It's not
No.
all going to work, but
Yeah.
it's still entertainment. So go check that
Yeah.
out. Now, Fantastic Four, you were talking about it. This one I'm very interested in
Yeah.
seeing as well. This is coming out Friday. So it's just right around the corner. This one I'll probably try to get in the theater, hopefully this weekend, upcoming weekend, if I can.
Yeah.
But this is like a must see, I think. What do you think?
A lot of people are saying that this is one of those that this is one of those movies you feel like you have to see on the big screen just because of how it's shot
Mm-hmm.
and how it's done and whatever. I'm obviously a huge Marvel fan. I love so many of the Marvel movies. Matter of fact, the last movie I did go to the theaters to see was Thunderbolts, which I
See, I didn't
absolutely
see that
loved. That
one,
was such a
but
great movie.
it should hit Disney
So
Plus
so
soon.
so much better. Yeah, yeah, it should be coming out soon. So
Mm-hmm.
check that one out, because I do think that was a lot. Was really good. This one, I have mixed feelings about
Mm-hmm.
this one. It looks interesting. I like some of the stuff that
Mm-hmm.
they've done. Other things concern
Yeah,
me about it.
I like Galactus.
Like
He's looking really good.
I like Galactus. I'm so glad they went with more of an old school design and not some just weird cloud thing like they tried to do with the
Oh
last
yeah,
series of movies. I don't know how I feel about the female
yeah. I'm
Silver
not on board
Surfer.
with that yet either. But I
Uh,
guess she was part of the
you
comics,
know,
so I guess they are still staying true to the comics. But
yeah, in a way, I suppose. But I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
I've heard good things about this movie.
where they go
Like,
with it.
there's been leaks as far as like really good feedback and like reviews already, and then there's been some negative stuff coming out too. But you never know what to believe, especially on YouTube. There's so many influencers now that are trying to promote something one way or another way now. You really don't know.
Yeah, kind of like the home arcade community.
Very much so, yeah. So it's who knows? It's really up to you too. One movie that someone may not like, you may love. It's really up to you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Although there's been movies that I've loved that critics panned. I never listen to critics at all. It's just from stuff that I'm seeing and other feedback and whatever. Just it makes me a little hesitant, but I am curious to see this one because I know that in some respects this is going to set up a lot of what's going to happen going forward with the MCU, with Doctor Doom and all that kind of stuff. Even if he's not in it really. So I know it is going to set stuff up, and of course there's you'll see when you see Thunderbolts, there is a little kind of peek into this at the end of that as well. So
I guess that's after Galactus has already destroyed their planet, but who knows, they may be throwing us off with that. It may be something
we'll have to wait and see where it goes.
But looking forward to this one. So let's see what else we got. We got Fantastic Four, Superman, and then Mortal Kombat 2. You saw the previews for this one, right?
Yeah, this looks really good. I wasn't too big on the last Mortal Kombat that they did. It was okay. There were some things that I just didn't really like about it, but this looks interesting. I think having Carl Urban as Johnny Cage is brilliant. I think he's such a great actor. He's so great in The Boys. He's so great. He was great even in like the Star Trek movies. Really good. He was really good as Judge Dredd. It's just he's so good. He could do so many different things. And I think
to get him,
I think it was definitely good casting. I like the way that this looks. I don't know if I'm necessarily a fan that it feels like the whole movie is going to focus on him. But we'll just have to wait and see where they go with it. But it does look good. And I thought doing that little teaser that they did where it was just, a teaser for the Johnny Cage movie.
Oh,
was hysterical.
The day before.
They had me with that one before this one even came out, to be quite honest with you. I was like,
there's going to be some comedy in it.
Yeah, because they need that. They need to lighten it up a little bit and not be quite
but I think serious. All the fighters look great.
Hopefully they kind of learned their lessons from the last
where
one.
The first one kind of started all this. They're really going to take off and do a lot more with the second one. You're going to have more characters, and it seems like they're going to stay as true as they can to the video games. So I'm really happy to see that. But yeah, a lot of people didn't like the first one that came out a couple of years ago. I really liked it, actually. So I know this one's going to just be that much better. And of course, if this one does well, we'll get 3, and we'll just see if this keeps on going, because they can keep Mortal Kombat movies going forever if they wanted. Just like the video games.
Yeah, why not? The game has. Why not?
And, I'm a big Mortal Kombat fan. I'm equal Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. I'm equal. I like them both.
Yeah.
So looking forward to this. And then there's one more that I've got to talk about here. Tron Ares. You saw the preview for this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, this one looks really good too. I actually put out a short when this was announced. It actually has almost 200,000 views. Can you believe that? Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
200,000
nice.
views. And it's still chugging along. And as these trailers come out, it just seems like people keep going back to it. So I'm kind of locked in on Tron. I've always liked these movies, and they really fit like arcade, nostalgia too, with the Tron arcade and it being like a video game type world. So this is one that I'm really excited about. And the music is just off the chain too. Like you've seen this preview and heard the music on this. 9 Inch Nails is doing the soundtrack. And if you go to the 9 Inch Nails
it's a good
channel,
choice.
They're already dropping some of the songs for the movie. They're going to have a full album
I'll have to check that out
for the movie. And a lot of people are saying like they're more excited for the music than they're like, oh, I get a Tron soundtrack and I get the movie for free. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, I almost felt that way with the last one because so much of it was
Yeah.
Daft Punk, and which again was like a perfect choice for a
Mm-hmm.
Tron movie. So this is going to be interesting. I'm trying to hold out hope for it. Again, I'm not. I guess it makes sense bringing them into the real world. It does kind of feel like the
Mm-hmm.
evolution of
Yeah.
the series. I'm just not sure yet because so much of it is, about being inside the computer, inside the
Uh-huh.
video game world. I don't know if bringing them out is going to have that same feeling
Mm-hmm.
that you get from that whole, human trapped
Yeah.
in the arcade kind of a thing. I'm also really curious to see how this ultimately ties to the other ones because as far as I can tell on
Jeff
this,
Bridges is like the
Jeff
only
Bridges is
one.
the only one
Yeah.
coming back. I'm not seeing anybody. I'm not seeing what's his name who played his son,
There's
or
speculation that they're going to be in it though. That like they haven't
yeah,
confirmed that because they want to keep all that secret still.
yeah,
But it's sounding like from some of
maybe.
the interviews that I've seen from the previous actors, there's going to be some cameos from some of the previous actors in there.
Good. I hope so because after the last one, and again, God, it's been a little while since I've seen Legacy, so the names are
2011, I think 2010 that one came out. So it's been a
yeah.
while.
The names are escaping me, but
Olivia
again, you had
Wilde,
Flynn's son and
uh, Garrett,
Olivia, the Olivia Wilde. Thank you.
Headline.
Her character.
He's not a big actor, but he was like
Um,
the lead actor in Legacy.
yep.
But yeah, I think they're going to
Yeah,
both come back.
Calvin said it too. Olivia Wilde. Yeah, at the end having her come into the
Yeah.
real world was actually kind of was a cool
Mhm.
way to end that, and it kind of left you kind of wondering, okay, is that how is that possible? Where is that going to lead and whatever? So I'm hoping that she is in it
Mhm.
at some point and that they do kind of explain that whole thing, and maybe that is what influences where this movie is coming from and how the programs are coming
Mhm.
into the real world. So hopefully they do something really good to tie it in and not just make it feel like it's its own thing out of the blue and whatever, because it has, like you said, it has been a long time since
Yeah.
that movie came
And this
out.
one was in
So
development hell, like I've been reading, like where they've been
oh
trying to make
yeah,
this movie for like a very long time, and it survived COVID, it survived all that, and they finally got it to the screen. So this has been a long time coming, and there's been a lot of work behind the scenes to make it happen. I think this is gonna be an amazing movie. Even if you like see the intro, like it had they redid Disney, like the Disney opening.
yeah, I
So
do
I
think that
think
is
that's
cool.
kind of a sign that this is going to be big. You know, like they go that far to like change the. Let's see if I can bring it again. Let's see. Yeah,
Yeah, with the Cinderella's castle in the back, all that red
I
and
thought that
whatever.
looked
Yeah,
really cool. Let's see. Come on, there it is. But yeah, Disney's put a lot of effort into this one. And Jared Leto, I like the casting of that, especially with Nine Inch Nails being so heavily involved in the movie, and Jared Leto being a
yep,
musician himself, and initially being in a rock
yeah.
band. Yeah,
There it
I
is.
just
That's what
think
you were
it's going
talking
to be a
about. Yeah.
great movie. It's going to be awesome. And after Jared Leto had that horrible movie as that vampire, what was that one? Morbius. Morbin
Morbius.
time.
Yeah, it was not. Oh my god,
It's
it was
Morbin
not
time.
good.
So he definitely
Yeah, it
needs
was not
a
good.
comeback movie with this one. But so yeah, that's been some fun talk. A lot of home arcade talk tonight. Also, the Williams Pinball, Glenn's Build-A-Cade FU, Golden Tee, Chuck's Arcade movie and TV talk. It's been a pleasure chatting with you tonight. I appreciate you coming on the stream tonight.
Yeah,
and
thanks for
keeping us
having me on.
entertained on this Sunday evening.
Yes,
Anything
good.
coming up on your channel here soon? I know you said something about a Superman. Possibly you're going to be doing something.
Yeah, so I've got a Superman related video that is going to drop hopefully tomorrow. I'm just about
Okay.
done with it. I Not sure if I'm doing a live stream this Wednesday or not. I usually do them, you've seen them. I usually do them Wednesday around 8 o'clock. I'm not sure. Yeah, I may have something going on this Wednesday. So keep an eye on my channel. If not this Wednesday, for sure, next Wednesday, I will have one going. And, I just tend to, keep my eyes and ears open for anything new and interesting that strikes my fancy. And if I do,
Yeah, always
put a
try to
video up.
catch your live streams. They're a lot of fun. You always have a lot of good information.
Yeah,
to
I
cover,
appreciate that.
And, you're leading right before Arcades Anonymous. I like how we all have our nights when we do our shows, and I try to watch as many people as I can and get in the chat and be a part of it. It's a lot of fun being a part of the community and keeping up with all this stuff, because I got into Arcade One Up 2019, wasn't ever on YouTube until I got into these things, and it's just been a ride. It's been a lot of fun. And,
Absolutely.
This is great. So you have a good rest of the week, or a good start to the week, and I'll try and check you out on Wednesday, see if you do live stream. If not, I'll see you the next week. I'm looking forward to your Superman video on Monday as well.
Thank you.
And
Appreciate it.
everyone else, have a great night, and we'll see you in the next one. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.
Take care.